Good morning, everyone. It is a stunning morning here in the UK, and whatever time of the day you are listening to this, I hope you are having a brilliant day. I'm Jenny Florence from the A to Z of Emotional Health Online Library, and in this particular video, I'm going to share with you a really lovely life learning curve, life lesson that has arrived in my world. I'm going to say sort of unexpectedly. In a way, I don't think it's entirely unexpected. It's one of those life lessons that I think is present for us in life a lot of the time, if we can pause for long enough to listen and to look for them and to connect to a certain level of seeing life from a position of appreciation. So my learning today has come from one of my dogs. Her name is Willow, and she's a rescue dog. She came all the way from Cyprus. And yesterday she actually hurt herself quite badly. She had a huge gash in her leg. So much gratitude as well to having brilliant vets on my doorstep. But I had a conversation with the vet, and it really highlighted a certain level of appreciation in terms of a lesson that she's actually brought into our lives, because she is the sweetest little soul you could ever wish to meet. And the vet and I were discussing this, and I said, you know, it's really interesting because they say that it's the equivalent, if you're comparing a dog's lifespan with a human lifespan, that I think 1 year is the equivalent to 7 years. This little soul was in a pound for 2.5 years, having been abandoned and left on the streets. So it's quite curious, isn't it? Because that's kind of like the equivalent of having a life sentence. And, you know, I just said to the vet, if that had happened to us, if we had been abandoned and then imprisoned for no reason at all, you know, we'd done nothing whatsoever wrong, and we served a life sentence, I'm not sure how available we would be to feel gratitude and to be so present in the moment. I mean, this is what I see in her. She is so present in the moment to being loved and to actually giving love. I mean, there's no question of her taking. She gives. And I think my lessons from her are this, that we are not defined by our past. We don't have to let it rule us. And it's interesting because she's a very nervous little soul, which I can understand. I mean, why wouldn't she be? But despite that nervousness, she is in the moment. You know, dogs are so very present. So as I said, my learning curves from her are that regardless of what has happened to us in the past, if we can allow ourselves to be open and available in the present, to receive with gratitude and to give with gratitude, we really can embrace a very different world for ourselves. And, you know, she most definitely contributes to that. She's leading that by the way that she is. And my second learning curve is about being present. She hasn't forgotten her past, because there are certain situations when she definitely is anxious and something will sort of set her off. So you can see the history is there in her. You know, we don't exactly know what her experiences have been, but I guess the point is that she's present to it and then she lets it go. The moment she knows the world is safe again, she lets it go. She doesn't walk around constantly looking over her shoulder and being anxious. And as human beings, that is something that we aren't terribly good at. If we've had difficult experiences, we often really struggle to put them down, and we often continually worry in our present time about something happening again, even if it's nowhere close to being on our horizon. So I think for me there is something very relevant about becoming present without actually forgetting. We don't have to forget the past, but we can use it to inform us. You know, I'm absolutely certain that if she was faced with a really difficult situation, her alert button would, you know, rocket and go sky high immediately, because that's in her because of her history, but it would be informing her. It wouldn't be ruling her every minute of every day. So those are the lessons that I think I have learned from little Willow. I'm going to hand you over to her. I'm going to send you some photos, put some photos up of her, so you have a little bit of, you can put a face to the name. So I will leave you now and leave you in the very wonderful hands of Willow.